Hey guys, it's Geordie here. Hot day down here in Melbourne, and just been playing with the marlin gear today and stuff. But anyway, what I want to do is I want to do a video for you, basically showing you a Paternoster rig that I've been tying for probably 20 years or so. The reason why I like it is because it's really easy to tie, and if you need to change hooks or sinkers or anything like that over at any point in time, it's really quick because we just tie loops in it. So first off is our rod and reel. So this is basically going to be a gummy shark rig. So we've got 20-pound braid on a Shimano Court 4000, Silverstar Power Tip 6 to 10 kilo rod. So 20-pound Power Pro braid. Now I tie a swivel in at the end of the braid. Now if you're using braid, you can just tie a leader knot there if you like. I've always preferred tying a swivel there, so just out of habit I always do. So I just tie a uni knot there on the swivel, and there's about 10 turns, 8 to 10 turns in the braid. Obviously the thicker the braid, the less the turns, the thinner the braid the more. And I've got 40-pound Black Magic Tough Trace, and again uni knot there. Probably about 6 turns in that, so that's a pretty good strong connection. I've never really had I've never had an issue with that with braid, to be honest. So we've got 40-pound leader. So what we do is we come down a little bit and we tie a loop, and very important, you don't want the length of the loop to be longer than the length between the swivel and the loop, because that will mean the hook will come up and then catch on the swivel. So we just measure that up, make sure that's going to be okay first. So then we pinch it like that. So there's a loop, a dropper loop. Turn it over like this, once through, twice, a bit like a granny knot loop with 2 turns through the loop there initially. So there we go. So we literally do that again further down. And when we do it, it's kind of the same thing where we don't want to have the loops hooking up on each other like this, so we make sure that the length like that's going to be okay. Tie it once, and again, pull tight. So that's our second hook dropper. So the last thing I'm going to do is tie a loop for our sinker. Now, this is where you can measure out this length. If you were fishing in an area with a lot of weed and rubble and things like that on the bottom, which are like sort of fouling up your baits and making them get covered in weed, you can make this loop, this dropper here, going down to the sinker, this bit of length of leader, you can make it fairly long. And by doing so, it puts your sinker on the bottom, and your sinker is going to collect all that stuff, which obviously isn't a problem, and it's going to keep your baits just above it where you want it to be, because that's where the fish are going to be roaming around and feeding. So I've just measured this out. It's only about maybe 50 centimeters. This is only rough demonstration for this video. So again, we tie one more loop like that, and we'll just cut it off. So what you'll have now is you'll have your swivel, leader, loop, leader, loop, length of leader, and on the end, one more loop. So in order to put in order to put the hooks on, it's really easy. In this case, we're just going to be putting on a 5.0 Mustad Big Red Suicide. So you just take the loop, pinch the end, like that, over the hook like that, and that's it. So if you get a blunt hook, or if you get broken hooks, straightened hooked, anything like that, it's real easy to take it off. You just literally just push that loop back down and off like that. I've had a few people ask me about that particular connection there, about the way it's wrapped around the hook, and they're concerned that it would cause problems with the leader, like the hook would damage the leader. Not at all. That way of putting it on is how I do it for marlin on bait leaders, and I've never had an issue with that. It's real simple. Very strong. For gummy sharks and snapper, you're not going to have an issue. So obviously on the end, we do the same thing with the sinker. Just pinch the loop. I'm just not going to show you how to put a second hook on. I'm sure you all know how to do that. But yeah, basically same thing. Just loop it around like that. And if you need to change weight, if it's too heavy or if it's too light, obviously that's nice and easy to change as well. So that's how I do my Paternosters and how I've been doing them for about 20 years. I've never really had an issue with it at all. I've never had an issue, to be honest. Like, people worry about those granny knots. I've never had an issue with the second wrap around like that. It's very, very strong. Hope you learned something today. It's just, like I said, it's just how I like to do my Paternoster rig. If you take something away from it for your own, like let's say you like to use a three-way swivel there with a single strand of leader, but you've decided to put a loop on the end of your leader so you can change the sinker size really easily. Fantastic. All the best, guys. Good luck with your fishing.